Asking questions is an essential part of human life. It is the way we are able to interact and learn new things in our world. But there have been questions asked throughout time that science nor religion have been able to answer to any degree of certainty. What kinds of questions remain unknowable in our universe? Will these questions ever be answered? You're watching Matter, and today we're looking into 10 unanswerable questions that science and religion cannot answer. Number 10. Why is the universe full of chaos? In the world of physics, logic and reason are primarily used to help make sense of the world around us and develop understanding of how it functions and changes over time. For a long time, scientists were finding that the world seems to be perfectly engineered in a straightforward and logical way that serves a certain purpose. But as science grew, new discoveries were made that showed how chaotic the world can be. From the strange behaviors of quantum mechanics to the unpredictability of the most bizarre objects in the universe, chaos seems to be included everywhere we look in our reality. Could chaos be an essential part of the order that we see throughout the universe? Number 9. Is the universe finite or is it infinite? Ever since astronomers were able to look out deep into the cosmos, the question of where the universe ends has continually showed up in the back of their minds. As far as we know, there isn't really a good way to test if there even is an end to the cosmos. Currently, scientists believe that the universe is at least 93 billion light-years across, but there is currently no way to be completely sure. Some believe that our technology is simply not strong enough to detect anything beyond that distance. But there are also a few scientists who wonder if a true infinity is even possible and like to ask the question, what would happen if we tried to add 1 to an infinite number? Is it possible that there is infinite space in the cosmos and it has no end or edge? Number 8. Can we ever really be certain? Since the early 1900s, scientists have been working to accommodate the discoveries in quantum mechanics into their current theories and models of our universe. One of these concepts of quantum mechanics, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, opens up some interesting possibilities to our world. Heisenberg was able to prove that it is impossible to know both the exact velocity and the exact position of an object at a single time. If you measure the speed of a fast-moving object, its position will always have a certain amount of uncertainty attached to it, and vice versa if you were to measure its velocity first. But how far does this principle go into our reality? There may be no way to predict what will happen in the universe with a high amount of certainty. Most of what exists in our world has been created through the forces of our universe that can only be predicted to a high degree of probability, but isn't truly known. Is it impossible to have absolute certainty? Number 7. Can we have an impact on our universe? It can make us feel insignificant when we look at us on our tiny planet, in our small solar system located in one regular galaxy among hundreds of billions of other galaxies, each with billions of their own stars. When scientists discovered this, there was a fear that struck our species that we as humans on a single planet can have no impact on the universe. But our species has shown again and again that we are capable of great things. From building massive structures that have stood for thousands of years, to sending our creations beyond our solar system and reaching to the stars for the first time. We have accomplished so much in our short time on this planet, but it can still be hard to know if humans will have the impact on the universe as a whole. Number 6. What made humans different? When we look at our own planet, it is hard to look past how different our species seems to be. Humans are our greatest heroes and, at the same time, our worst enemies. We have been able to move across the Earth, populating every continent, outperforming every other species. But what made us special? Why is our species the one that was able to dominate our planet? Science has been working to find an answer to this question, but the reason has continued to elude them. What is obvious, though, is that something made our species special and allowed our ancestors to thrive and grow. Number 5. What is consciousness? Science has been trying to tackle this question for longer than recorded history. What is this self-awareness, and how are we able to think in ways that we do? How did simple single-celled organisms come into being billions of years ago, eventually grow and evolve into organisms that can think, feel, and be able to communicate with each other using complex languages?
I have no idea where I am, or even who I am, or in what country I am, yet I know I exist because I see something.
It is truly amazing how the human brain works, and science has been attempting to understand the mechanisms behind its function more clearly. Modern technology has allowed doctors to map brain waves, neuron functions, and watch the electrical impulses travel through the brain structure in real time. It's fair to say that we know far more about the function of the brain than any generation before us, but none of that has been able to show scientists where this amazing phenomena we call consciousness comes from. Number 4, what is time, and why does it exist? There are many ways that we can feel the passing of time. The beating of our heart, the cadence of our breath, and the movement of the sun can all be examples of time passing. We're all aware of time and its constant passing, but have you ever thought about what time really is? Many scientists and philosophers have dove into this concept and tried their hardest to understand the nature of time and what it is. Is it simply the name for the rate of the continual growth of the universe? Or could it be its own entity with its own rules and laws? Albert Einstein put forth the idea that space and time are intrinsically linked, to the point that his theories teach from the model of the universe built of space-time with 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. Could further study into time ever yield an accurate answer as to what time really is? Number 3, can we know the future? One goal of science is to understand the universe in such a way that we can accurately predict what will happen in different scenarios. Some scientists believe that with enough knowledge and detailed enough models, it is possible to accurately predict the future in many cases throughout the universe. But experimentally, the evidence has shown that even if we expect something to happen with as close to absolute certainty as we can still surprise us and throw us a curveball of something entirely unexpected. Being able to know what the future will bring could have a large impact on the way we live our lives, but there's no way of telling what would happen if the universe was predictable to that degree. But with further study into time and space, perhaps the future will creep into the realm of knowable information. Number 2, what is the purpose of life, and why does everything die? Death is one thing that all living organisms share. It is the destination that is awaiting everything. But why is it this way? And what is the purpose of life if it must end in death? It's still a mystery how inorganic matter came together on our young Earth to form organic living compounds that eventually grew and evolved over billions of years into all the species that we see on Earth today. Regardless of how it happened, life exists on Earth, and now scientists are trying to understand that process as well as they can. For a long time, science has been looking at ways to prolong life and keep our bodies as healthy as possible. Could it be possible to circumvent death and keep our bodies alive for far longer than is currently possible? Maybe life is just about spending your time working to make the universe we all live in a better place for the ones that will come after us long into the future. But for the time, this is an answer we are still hoping to find. Number 1, why does anything exist at all? This is perhaps the biggest question that we as beings in this universe can ask. In our current understanding, the universe began with the Big Bang. But what happened before that? Currently, there is no agreed answer as to what came before this that scientists can agree on. But some people believe that a god or gods began everything with their will. Others believe that beings in higher dimensions kick-started our universe as part of a complex simulation. And there are still others, like the late Stephen Hawking, that believed that there was nothing before the Big Bang, that nothing will inevitably lead to something. Why did more matter get created than antimatter when our universe first expanded into being? This question goes beyond the scope of what we can know. For now, we may never run out of questions that need to be answered, and there will always be those that seem impossible to answer. But that won't stop humans from trying their hardest to solve these mysteries. Do you think you have answers to any of these questions? If so, comment below. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Matter.